I welcome you to the 4th edition of NewsX We Women Want and Shakti Awards 2024.
This platform was started by NewsX and India News as a dedicated bi-weekly TV, print, podcast and website via media to support women-led development.
Absolutely, Asavri. This of course is our 4th edition of the Conclave. We've hosted very successful previous editions, in fact in Mumbai as well as in Delhi, with former Union Minister Smriti Irani, with former Union Minister Anurag Thakur, with Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra Devendra Fadnavis, और आज हमारे खास मेहमान होंगे Union Minister Nitin Gadkari. In fact, we'll also be having Delhi Chief Minister Atishi in attendance today.
Right, absolutely. We're of course looking forward to a jam-packed session today. In the past, we've hosted women from Air Force, Navy, police forces, acid attack victims, trained loco pilots, Paralympians, fisher women, defense trainers, and many, many more.
Absolutely. And today is going to be no different. Today also we have achievers from all walks of life who will be in attendance today, from actors to army women, to politicians, to lawyers. हर पीढ़ी से और हर walk of life से आज महिलाएं होंगी और उनको हम सराहेंगे भी और उनसे हम सुनेंगे भी उनकी कहानियां ताकि आप भी उनसे प्रेरणा लें.
Indeed, Uday, we have a plethora of very interesting sessions, and you can find all those details on newsx.com/we-women-want, and you can also, in fact, take a look at the QR codes right on your tables.
Absolutely, we've gone truly digital, so if you want the schedule and you want to know which session to come for over here at this iconic venue, of course, in the heart of the national capital, you can check our website, as Asavri mentioned, or you can scan those QR codes. They're on all your tables over here physically at the venue, and they're also on all our digital platforms. So you can log into any of our digital platforms, NewsX, India News, InKhabar, or other digital platforms, and find them there. Let's quickly now go ahead and thank our sponsors, without whom today's event wouldn't have been possible. So, with deep appreciation, we would like to thank our food partner for today, P-Mark Mustard Oil. Thanking P-Mark Mustard Oil, our food partner for today's event. We would also like to thank our hygiene partner, She Wings. We would also like to thank our digital partner, Daily Hunt.
Indeed. On that note, let's also take a look at an AV by our hygiene partner.
Comfortable at night and day. Completely changed my perspective about brake pads.
I am very happy to tell you guys that I'm making my smart choice and good choice by using She Wings smart pads.
Writer and singer, I think comfort is my top priority when it comes to period. So I found this magical product called this She Wings.
Thank you, She Wings. There's amazing quality of pads. As a lady riders, when we travel over long distances, we face a lot of rashes, but the quality is really good.
Well, thank you once again to, of course, our hygiene partner. As we've been saying all along, this is not just a show, it's a campaign, of course, to urge women-led development. अंग्रेजी में We Women Want के नाम से और हिंदी में हम महिलाएं के नाम से. Let's quickly play out for you a quick AV. What is the organization that has brought for you today's event? Well, that is the fastest growing media network in India, ITV Network. Let's tell you a bit more about ITV Network in greater detail. Let's quickly have that AV. India's most credible journalists presenting you news, views and impact stories from India and across the world. Home of India's biggest news campaigns. Host to India's biggest platforms. This is India's fastest growing media house. This is the ITV network. with 2 national news channels, India News and NewsX. ITV Network has 6 regional news channels with landmark news events. Our viewers love to connect on their platform of choice and making news and information available at fingertips. ITV Network has 5 newspapers, winning hundreds of awards as a testament to the value we bring to India's people.
All right, on that note, I would like to invite Mr. Rishabh Gulati, Editor-in-Chief of NewsX, to deliver the welcome address.
Could we please have a loud round of applause, and let's have some energy in the room. There's going to be some spirited conversation, so we want our audiences to have energy as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Asavri and Uday, and to our audience here at the Taj Ambassador, as well as to all of you watching at home, जो हमारे दर्शक जुड़ रहे हैं इंडिया न्यूज़ पे, as well as our viewers of NewsX. Welcome to the 4th edition of We Women Bond. We've done 2 conclaves in Delhi, 1 in Bombay, and over the course of 3 years, a structure that began as an idea that how do we use our large network where we are employing 1,100 journalists across 9 news channels and 5 newspapers and more than 42 digital verticals with 200 million various kinds of impressions and views coming just on our YouTube platforms. What can we do to dedicate that to women? This has been put forth and very well managed by the chairperson of the Sunday Guardian Foundation, Dr. Aishwarya Pandit Sharma, and of course the editorial director of NewsX, Ms. Priya Sehgal, who will be here and will be conducting sessions through the course of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, be ready for a jam-packed day. We are kicking off with sportspersons. We are going to have then women doctors. We're going to have women in uniform from the army. Then we're going to have the Delhi Chief Minister. Through the course of the day, you're going to see lots of thought and ideas shared with women of all generations out there on what we can do to pursue women-led development. I congratulate all the women who are going to be receiving awards in advance, and I wish you all the very best for the sessions through the course of the day. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that opening address, Rishabh. Rishabh Gulati, of course, setting the tone and tenor for today's event. And now it's time to begin with our first session. And our first session couldn't be more apt. We are going to, of course, be speaking about those women who are in the field, who we've seen, of course, be truly heroes in the recent past. We all remember, of course, the COVID pandemic that had gripped not just the nation, but the entire world. जी हाँ, उस महामारी में अगर एक सच में हीरो थे, तो वो थे हमारे health workers नहीं, warriors. And our first session is on women in healthcare. जी हाँ, स्वास्थ्य क्षेत्र पे आज हम बात करेंगे इस पहले session में. And of course, we have some very special guests as well for this session, Asavri.
Joining us for this very important panel discussion is Dr. Aruna Kalra, Director OBGYN CKB Hospital. Could we please give her a round of applause? We're also joined by Dr. Geeta Prakash, Consultant Internal Medicine, Max Healthcare. And we also have with us Madan Mohit Bhardwaj, Founder, She Wings Healthcare. Could you please have a round of applause for all our panelists? This session is going to be moderated by Devika Chopra, News Editor, NewsX.
Uday and Sabri, thank you so much for that introduction. So, of course, we're beginning the Delhi edition of We Women Want with some very, very pertinent conversations. It's usually said that women don't really end up taking care of their own health because there are so many responsibilities on women, looking after their own families. Everything else becomes a priority and women's own health really takes a step back. So we're going to be discussing some pertinent health problems that women today face and what is it that our doctors recommend that they should do. And of course, we'll also be focusing a little bit on menstrual health as well. Dr. Aruna, firstly, ma'am, thank you so much for being here. I know it's a busy day for you, as it is for Dr. Geeta Prakash. I want to begin by asking you, ma'am, in today's day and age, if you could perhaps shed light on 3 of the most prevalent lifestyle diseases that are impacting women, what would those be, ma'am?
Thank you very much. Am I audible? Thank you very much. Yeah, the question is very, very important because in today's era, I should say that the lifestyle diseases are much more than any other diseases. I'm not audible? Okay. So first lifestyle disease I would say is a metabolic disorder, which we say in females is PCOD or PCOS. And PCOD or PCOS is a pure metabolic disorder or pure lifestyle disorder. If patients ask me कि मैं इससे कैसे निजात पाऊँ या इसका क्या इलाज है, तो उसमें ये है कि अगर आप अपना लाइफस्टाइल ठीक करेंगे तो ये बीमारी ही नहीं है. ये बीमारी ही इसलिए है क्योंकि आपका लाइफस्टाइल ख़राब है. आप एक्सरसाइज नहीं कर रहे हैं, या आप जंक फूड खा रहे हैं, या आपका स्क्रीन टाइम ज़्यादा है, और आपका स्लीप पैटर्न ठीक नहीं है. ऑल दीज थिंग्स कलेक्टिवली गिव मेटाबॉलिक डिसऑर्डर और हार्मोनल इम्बैलेंस टू योर बॉडी, और आपकी ओवरीज एग्स प्रोड्यूस करना बंद कर देती हैं. एंड दैट्स वाई यू डेवलप डायबिटीज़, हाइपरटेंशन, डिसलिपिडीमिया और कोलेस्ट्रॉल, इनफर्टिलिटी एंड to the like right of the spectrum, cancer of uterus.
Okay.
So this is one of the disease, PCOD. Another disease we would say that because our girls are opting out of fertility, वो लोग बच्चा बहुत लेट स्टेज पर करना चाहते हैं, जो 35 और 40 इयर्स पर करते हैं, तब तक यूटरस रसौली या फाइब्रॉइड्स प्रोड्यूस करना शुरू कर देता है, और ये एक हाइपर एस्ट्रोजेनिक कंडीशन होती है जिसमें कि अगेन लाइफस्टाइल हैज़ टू play an important role. Smoking can cause cancer of uterus and ovaries.
Wow, okay.
So nobody knows about it. Smoking can cause low AMH level, which is like your fertility would go down. आपके number of eggs बहुत drastically reduce हो जाते हैं. आपको uterus के mouth का cancer हो जाता है, और आपको ovary का cancer भी हो जाता है. तो ये एक और बड़ा lifestyle आजकल कि गर्ल्स में और बॉयज़ में भी स्मोकिंग, डेफिनेटली स्मोकिंग इज़ हार्मफुल, बट जो PCOD, बच्चेदानी के मुंह का कैंसर, और जो फर्टिलिटी कम हो रही है, वो भी स्मोकिंग की वजह से बहुत ज़्यादा हो रही है.
Dr. Aruna, I'd also like to understand from you, if I'm suffering from PCOD or PCOS and I wish to start a family or I wish to conceive, what is the first thing that you tell women with this condition to do?
जैसा मैंने कहा कि PCOD या PCOS कोई बीमारी है ही नहीं. जैसे ही आप डिसिप्लिन लाइफस्टाइल करते हैं, अगर आपने 45 मिनट्स की एक एक्सरसाइज रूटीन बना लिया, आप घर का खाना खा रहे हैं, आप जंक फूड नहीं खा रहे हैं, टाइम से सो रहे हैं, ट्रैवल कम है, स्क्रीन टाइम कम है, तो धीरे धीरे month after month your periods would start getting regular, you would start ovulating, and there is no PCOD anymore in your body.
Oh, wow. Dr. Geeta Prakash, same question to you, ma'am. I want to understand from you, what, as per you, are the top 3 most prevalent lifestyle-related diseases that you see amongst women today?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for having me here. Also, I agree totally with what she says. लेकिन क्या होता है आजकल, there's too much inputs for the children. I feel media is such an important part of their lives. Also, the iPad and the iPhone and the internet more than anything else. So, which is another reason why they don't realize how important it is to just regulate their lives. Sometimes we find they're suffering either from a thyroid problem or they are anemic. That can also lead to a lot of problems. So that is one thing. And so I always say life for women starts, like they say, when you sing it's do re mi, when you talk it's ABC, but when it's in women it's menarche. So that menarche becomes very important, how you start periods. Also, sometimes they have irregular periods initially, which they don't pay too much attention to, not realizing that they're going towards PCOD. They feel कि पहले तो वैसे ही irregular होता है जब बच्चा छोटा होता है, and as they grow older it becomes more stable. So that is one. And the second thing she said was very important. You know, the kind of children we get are between the age of 20 and 25. They are not aware of the fact that this is the right time to regulate everything in their lives, whether it's exercise or it's just like she said, you know, the food habits. Because they start working, they've suddenly sort of got a little money in their hands, they eat out. So I always tell them this is the age to do it, but through the week eat at home, and over the weekend you can do what you want. Also, I think here we should mention that, you know, cervical cancer is very important, like she said. So for girls to get their cervical cancer vaccinations is very important. So that is one. Yeah.
Ma'am, speaking about cervical cancer, what would you recommend as far as the age is concerned? Because a lot of parents, when it comes to women's health and particularly health of the uterus, we're a little hush-hush about it. Nobody wants to talk about it. So how would you recommend that young parents go about understanding their children, especially their daughters and their bodies? And what would you recommend? How should they go about? When should be the first meeting with a gynecologist, with a general physician, and how do they go about the vaccines?
See, I worked at the school for almost 20 years with a junior modern school there. And there I found that I had started talking to the parents and the girls separately, and the parents and the boys separately, because they have to know that body is changing. Sometimes the children are getting their periods now at 7 and 8 years of age when they're too young to know what is happening. Also now the cancer vaccine, we are normally giving it below 15. Then you can give only 2 doses, and otherwise you have to give 3. So I think you should start talking to them initially when they're about maybe 10 or 12, when they are aware of everything, because they're learning it in school also. You see, in science they learn everything. So they just very often talk to their friends and say, iska kya hai, ye kya hai? It's better for a parent or a teacher or a doctor to speak to them. So the pediatrician is very important, you know, just to be able to tell them what to do. Also, parents should be aware of it. Like you said, it's very hush-hush. They say, oh, iski baat nahi karo, ye to aise hi hai. But I think you should explain to them that this is normal, natural. Dadi gets it, Nani got it, I get it, there's nothing to worry about. You see, otherwise kids also get a little, they have this dread of getting a period. That should not be instilled in a child. That I think
Dr. Kalra, bringing you back into the conversation, ma'am, I want to understand from you, what would you recommend to parents today? What is the correct age for them to start taking their daughters to perhaps a gynecologist?
See, very, very important question, because as Dr. Sab said, that around puberty should happen after the age of 10 at least, okay? Nowadays we are seeing that girls are getting their periods at the age of 8, 9, which is early puberty. And it's not that we do not get the sign or symptom before that. 2 years before, she would start developing her breast bud or axillary hair or pubic hair. As soon as you see this sign that, oh my God, this is 6 years of age and my girl is getting breast bud or axillary hair, you go to pediatric endocrinologist and tell them that this is the sign I'm seeing. She might get her periods in another 2 years. Yeah. I want to delay her periods because this is not her age. She would be, her height will not grow. And see, 8 years old kid is not mentally prepared. Even 10 years old is not mentally prepared. So when we should be going to doctor, we should first be knowing what are the symptoms and signs of early puberty. And in another case, as Dr. Saab said, that in schools now we are doing all classes for adolescent girls and boys around the age of 10. So 10 or 12 years of age, we start telling them about their body. Like they are exploring their body. They know something is changing in their body and in their psyche. So that is the time when you start telling them what is hygiene, what is body. If they are getting pleasure, masturbating, tell them it's normal. You have to teach parents also separately that these are the kind of behaviors you are going to observe. Their frontal lobe is not formed, so logical brain is absolutely not there. What they are doing, they themselves are not able to comprehend. So that is first age, 10 to 12 years of age in schools, to kids and to parents, different workshops. And I would say gynecologist is girl's best friend. Every mother should take their daughter to gynecologist that, okay, now she's your doctor. She won't be judgmental. Whatever you need to ask about body science, about your periods, about why are you feeling bad about periods, why are you walking with a hunch or not feeling confident because your breasts are developing, everything. And I would tell parents, and I normally tell parents, that if you think that your girl or your boy are not exploring their body or each other's body because they are hormonal, then you are hiding in a cocoon. You don't understand that they might be doing everything. So it's better to empower them. Tell them that it's normal, okay? And if it is normal, you have to empower a 15-year-old, 17-year-old girl that contraceptive is available. This is that. Don't think that you are giving consent by explaining it to them. They would be empowered and they would be cautious once they know the consequences of it.
Okay, Dr. Geeta Prakash, since you've also been a part of a school, so I'm sure that this is something that you've really dealt with or parents have asked you. Another hush-hush topic is masturbation amongst young adults. Specifically, there's a lot that's spoken about as far as boys are still concerned, but I do feel that masturbation amongst young girls when they're exploring their bodies, or even young adult women or older women for that matter, is not really talked about. But talking about younger girls, how did you sort of broach that topic, and what would you suggest parents also, how do parents go about masturbation amongst their young girls?
You know, I think we still live in a society where we are a little hush-hush about it. We don't like talking about these things. We feel, oh, what is she up to, you know? But I think this is something, like she said, which we should talk about. Because like we say, they're just exploring different parts of their bodies. You do get, like they say, wet dreams, as they say, because they masturbate without, or they just sort of secrete semen without knowing what's happening. So I think this is something also that you should talk to them about, because they should know that there's nothing wrong in it. It's just that you shouldn't do it in public, maybe, you know, because that's what you find. We found one boy on the stairs doing it, which was very awkward for the whole school. So that is something they should tell them, that if you feel like, do it at home. There's nothing wrong in it. It's not going to. A lot of people feel that if I do this, my sexuality will go down. But that's not really true. So I think at every age, we should understand that this is a normal process. You do feel, you may not have a partner at that time, but you may feel the urge to just sort of release. It's okay. There's nothing wrong in it. But it is at every age. And when they are younger, it becomes more important because they think, ये तो कुछ गलत होएगा क्योंकि मम्मा ने तो बात ही नहीं की इसके बारे में. And so I think fathers and sons are very important, the bond that they have. Because this is something that a father would talk to a son. Whereas a mother would be easier to speak to a daughter about this. So I think that is very important. And just to explain to them right from the beginning, this is going to happen something throughout your life, maybe even after menopause. There's no reason why you should stop masturbating, but just do it sensibly. That is important, I think. You know,
Okay.
A lot of people, I think, get onto certain drugs just because they feel they want a high. That, I feel, is wrong.
Okay, coming to, of course, older women as well. We've discussed a lot about what young parents need to do with their young daughters. But speaking of women, say, under the age of 30, what, Dr. Aruna, are the top 3 things that you would tell women under the age of 30, keeping today's day and age in mind? What are the top 3 things they need to do to keep their health in check?
Okay, so these are young girls under the age of 30. First thing and foremost important thing is that, as doctor said, that HPV vaccination. If somebody has not got her vaccination before the age of 15, this vaccination is given till the age of 45. And before the age of 27 is another good age when you get this vaccination. 3 doses, 0, 2 and 6 months. And I recall that even government has announced that by next year coming year, they are also going to provide at a low cost this vaccine. Right now it's 3,500 to 10,000 single dose. So one thing is, please get vaccinated against human papilloma virus. And this vaccination you have to give to your boys also, because HPV is a virus and it is sexually contracted virus. It would affect girls and cause cancer of mouth of the uterus, which is cervical cancer. And at the same time, the HPV virus can cause penile and oral cancer and warts to boys. So boys also need to get this vaccination, which is like, again, nobody talks about. So this is first thing. Second thing is, now if you are sexually active, and nowadays, again, if we are not closing our eyes, we know that we are in living relationship and in and out of relationships. It's better that please get your pap smear done yearly, which is a test, very simple test, not painful at all. Every girl should get it done every year. Second is, you should be breast aware. So this is another term coined that every girl on 5th day of her periods should know how to do breast examination, self-breast examination with flat of hand to see the lumps. And if you feel that you do not know, go to your gynecologist, get your pap smear, and learn how to do breast examination.
Ma'am, you said 5th day of the period. Can you explain that a little?
So why? Because just before periods, breasts are locked with water. So there's breast soreness, sometimes you have waterlogged breast and they are dense. But by 5th day of period, breasts are softer, less denser, and you are able to palpate lump if there are any.
Okay, interesting.
It's easy.
Dr. Geeta Prakash, same question to you, but I want to ask for women over the age of 40, ma'am. What are some of the top 3 things that women over the age of 40 really need to watch out for to keep their health in check?
One, of course, like she said, is lumps in the breast, so mammograms are important.
Ma'am, I'll have to request you to yes.
One is, of course, mammograms, because it's important to know once you've examined your breast and you've had your tests done by the gynecologist, because especially if you have a family history of cancer, it's very important to get your mammogram done, and if they find that the breasts are dense, then you may need an ultrasound of the breast also. So this is important to get done. Secondly, like she said, the pap smear. Follow up if you find that it's, the cells are not absolutely normal. You may need, a high pap smear. And also, I think the bone density, because this is the age when you start losing a lot of calcium, and if you haven't been careful about eating well. So for us, what I'd like to stress on is, when you're a young mother, you're only concerned about that little baby. When you go, when the children sort of start going to school, then you're concerned about the whole family. You don't pay attention to how much calcium you're taking or how much vitamin D, or are you deficient in anything else. That is one second thing. And the third thing is, if there's a family history of anything, you need to do regular checkups. Like if there's a family history, maybe of glaucoma, which is very prevalent, hereditary, or if there's something of cancer breast or cancer anywhere, especially colon cancer. These are certain cancers that need to be followed up. So regular checkups for women is very important. Normally वो बोलते हैं बच्चों का करा दो, husband का करा दो, मैं तो ठीक ही हूँ. ठीक नहीं हो, because then it suddenly catches up with you and you say, पहले क्यों नहीं कराया? And they say, नहीं, उस time तो पता नहीं था, हम ठीक ही थे. So regular checkups, I think, are important, including vaccinations.
And ma'am, as far as the tests are concerned, in terms of, an annual test, what would you recommend? How should women go about one test maybe a year that they must get done?
So one is a general full body check, in the sense that the blood tests should be done. Nowadays, we include the B12, D3, liver, kidney, thyroid, the lipid profile, the sugars, and the complete blood count, which tells you if they're anemic or not. So these are little focuses that if they do once a year, it's more than enough. Second thing is, like I said, a bone density scan, but after the age of 40, you don't need it before that. And a mammogram or an ultrasound breast if needed. If there's a cancer history, you may need to get an X-ray of your chest. Ultrasound abdomen is important, because anything growing anywhere will show in an ultrasound. So that is an important thing. And with today's stress levels, everyone is sort of either acidic or stressed. So I think you have to just make sure gallbladder mein pathri to nahi hai, koi baki pathri to nahi hai in the kidneys. So ultrasound is important.
Right, absolutely. Madan, bring you into the conversation. I'll end with, of course, you. I want to understand, if you can firstly explain to our viewers, what exactly does She Wings do?
So first I would like to add on what Dr. Geeta was saying. Women health is the most ignored subject in the Indian household because of the two things. One is the social aspect to it, that it is to be said that माओं को दर्द नहीं होता. So it is a daytime or afternoon, evening, Women involves into household affairs and office work, and at the end of the day, when they start eating food, the left out food goes to mother. थाली का जो सबसे आखिरी हिस्सा रहता है, generally वो mothers को जाता है. And all the mothers are similar in India, as Dr. Geeta was saying. So there is less nutrition, there is less calcium, whereas a women require more iron and more calcium than a men, right? As we were discussing about the breast cancer, and we women want is, of course, the most powerful platform for women in India, and we are discussing this in the breast cancer month. The entire October month is a breast cancer month.
Yes.
Third thing I would like to say before I tell about the She Wings, we have been reaching out to more than 30 million women across the country every year through our non-profit sector. We found a very common problem, especially in the urban area. Most of the audience who are watching us and sitting in the auditorium are educated one. That, somehow, one of my friend who's a gynecologist, I'll not name her, she is heading one of the prestigious hospital. Most of the patients from schools, she has most of the patients from school. By the time they get into 11th and 12th standard, mostly 60 to 70% of the patients get contraceptive pills more than 10 times in their life.
Okay, can you explain that a little?
Okay. So we had, because of looking at the advertisement or the internet or wherever, we had considered that the contraceptive pills are the remedy for unsafe sex. Contraceptive pills are emergency pills, which could be taken once in a lifetime or maybe never in a lifetime. It's emergency, right? Especially the brand, I will not name the brand.
A lot of women come and say, oh, I think I had a problem, and so can I take this pill? And I say, maybe once, but never again.
Because of these pills, our entire cycle gets changed, your body gets destroyed, and then there's a problem with the conceive, right? Then when you go for a conceive in the next cycle, there's a problem.
Let me add. So emergency contraceptive pills are a very high dose of progesterone. Instead, you should be taking very low dose progesterone oral contraceptive pills if you are regular with your sex, okay? Emergency contraceptive pill, because it makes your uterine environment, the environment of womb, hostile, you are more prone to have tubal pregnancy in fallopian tube. And we only have 2 fallopian tubes. So one fallopian tube pregnancy sacrifices 50% of your fertility in future.
Very interesting. Yes.
We need to understand, in fact, the brands need to understand that, a lot of men are sitting here. So the safest sex, or I would say for intercourse, condom need to be used. Brand need to, promote safe sex, protection, not the pleasure during the intercourse. So we need to be very,
So basically men also need to take some onus, right? We've seen a growing trend where men don't want to wear condoms and they would instead expect that the girl should take an after morning pill.
Correct.
We
That
need to
happens very
sensitize
often.
men, isn't it? In every way, we need to sensitize. Like, as ma'am was telling, I was contradict her here, that mothers can also talk to their sons. They should sensitize them about menstrual cycles. And if they are spending lots of time in bathroom, why don't you just jokingly call him and say that, why are you masturbating for so long? I'm waiting here for breakfast. So it is, there is no this thing, you stigma to talk to boys.
Absolutely. Madan, I have 30 seconds left. If you can just tell our viewers about She Wings,
so coming
please.
over to this, we have found, a lot of, because during the 5 days, there are almost like 20 sanitary pad one woman uses as per their, blood flow. And most of the time, they remain in contact with the plastic. So She Wings Personal Care as a brand has innovated world's first minor sanitary pad, which has got 100% viscose top sheet, which is made of viscose, plastic-free top sheet. I'm sure plastic plays a very important role in your fertility, your the menstrual health, which we promote a plastic-free periods. And of course, we want more and more young women, because now the puberty is starting at the age of 10 and the menopause is coming at the age of 38 or 37 in some of the patients. So be very, very conscious, I would say, consumer. Whatever way you are using your menstrual hygiene, your cycle, please take care of your health, your diet, and the be very, very conscious about the product also. So we
Okay.
have innovated this product, which is, of course, I can challenge to whoever watching us. I mean, they would love the product when they use this. Thank you.
Well, Madan, thank you so much. Dr. Geeta, thank you. Dr. Aruna, thank you so much for that enlightening session. We will take up some of those questions. Also, you'll find them on our YouTube channel later as well. Some pertinent questions we'll be asking outside of the seminar hall. But I thank all of our panelists for joining us on the podcast. Thank you.